What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nintendo Power Block's Expansion Pack, our weekly YouTube series where we talk about random stuff that you guys want us to talk about or we want to talk about. Doesn't matter. Could be Nintendo related, could not be Nintendo related. But guess what? Ed's here with me, and we're going to talk about how Metroid could be Nintendo's secret weapon for Nintendo Switch Online paid service. Ed, I've been talking about how cool of a concept Federation Force is.
Yes.
But it wasn't executed great. It was good, wasn't great. Internet flares up about stuff all the time. I don't care what the internet has to say. I enjoyed Federation Force for what it was. But we're going to take Metroid Prime 4, right? We're going to take it, right? We're going to give it a campaign, a nice meaty campaign. And as you progress, obviously you do the Metroid-y stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all well and good. The planet you land on, we're going to take this multiplayer scenario of either bounty hunters or the military. We're going to go bounty hunters, right? We're going to say in the multiplayer aspect of Metroid. And this is what I want. And I think Nintendo's going to separate Metroid Prime 4 from, we're just going to call it Federation Force 2 for the sake of the conversation. I think they're going to separate those two titles and try to, whatever with them, kind of get them to sell separately. But in that case, I would like for Metroid Prime 4, for it to sell well, needs a competitive multiplayer. I think it does. I don't think it has as much as we love Metroid and as much as, everybody in NGR likes Metroid. I don't think it has the cachet that, Bethesda does with Doom and Wolfenstein for it to sell on its own, like as a single player shooter. Even though Doom had multiplayer, but let's be honest, who played it? Who played Doom multiplayer? It's fun though. I played it on Switch, so I guess I played it. Joke's on me, I guess. But I think Metroid needs that competitive multiplayer for it to sell well, and I think it needs to be kind of set up the way. I think the perfect example right now for them is Halo 5 in terms of being able to customize your bounty hunter, being able to customize, the looks of your weapons, your visors, all that kind of stuff. But I would like them to get a little bit deeper than that because I don't think Nintendo's going to go as deep as what Call of Duty does with perks, with attachments, with all that stuff.
Yes.
I think they need some of that, but I don't think they don't need to go as deep because it's Nintendo and it's Metroid, right? So I can't stop thinking about it in my head. First of all, how do you feel about a competitive multiplayer attached to Metroid Prime 4?
I think the basis of what Federation Force was, they could take and kind of improve upon it. I kind of would love to see like a hub system in a sense where everybody kind of meets in one place. And when you mention bounty hunter, like for like a multiplayer thing, depending on who your friends are, like they set up their own hub. 4-on-4 is going after that one bounty, and you have to kind of stop the other team from getting your bounty. So, like that can happen.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned that putting your powers on online or your customization up for grabs. You taking over people's bases for like capture the flag and stuff. Like they could go so many ways with this. Because a basic deathmatch, I think, in a Metroid online multiplayer or cooperative or competitive version is fun, but it's just too basic.
Yeah.
and people nowadays expect more. And I think Metroid itself, with Samus and maybe her compatriots and stuff, they could expound really well on that.
Yeah.
And they can even change up the game. Can change up the gameplay and use other game styles.
I would love if Nintendo went to Certain Affinity and was like, "Hey, make us a multiplayer mode for this." Like, because like they did Halo up through Halo 4, and they did Doom's multiplayer, and now they're working on another AAA IP multiplayer.
What if they had a separate mode also, where it's like Diablo, like it's a isometric Metroid game?
I don't think they would do that for Metroid Prime, but I could see them doing that on like as for like a 2D Metroid.
I mean, doing it as a way that if you have Metroid Prime for Switch, and let's say you pre-ordered it on Switch, and you got a code for that for your 3DS or something. Like, so now if they, you got this free mode on 3DS, if they be able to connect where your 3DS can play games on Switch, and you can use that 3DS as a controller, that'll kind of be, I think personally, that would kind of be cool for people who don't have a Switch yet.
Or what they could do, what they could do is like, I know nobody really likes the term free to play, but you know how Nintendo's been experimenting with free to play stuff on mobile and on 3DS.
Yes.
What if they made
free to start?
Yeah. What if they made a not a mobile version, but a free to play version for Switch of a twin stick shooter / Diablo like Metroid?
Oh yeah.
And this is like totally separate, and they released that before Metroid Prime 4 / Federation Force 2.
Yeah.
To get people excited for Metroid again, and like you could like the levels could be a little bit more intricate than what Diablo is. Instead of like walking around rooms and walking downstairs, they could be like mazes almost, kind of to get that backtracky Metroid feel. You could play multiplayer, you could play with your friends, and like you could.
I say this. Okay, let's go with that. It's free to start. If you want the full game, $19.99 base point. And then if you want more of it, $9.99 for each pack. And it gives you more bounties, more customization, it's just more stuff. And if you want to do a season pass, that's $40. So you still pay $60, but you're doing it in steps if you want it. And then after that, because dude, I could see that happening. Go ahead, go expound more.
Oh, that was just a thought. You were talking about like a Diablo style Metroid game. I was trying to think how it would work, but like a twin stick shooter would definitely work. Kind of like kind of like Helldivers. Remember PS Helldivers on like. It could be super hardcore like that. It would get a lot of hardcore people in. It would get the Destiny people in. It would get the Nintendo fans in. Like it could be super hardcore like that, like friendly fire, all that kind of stuff. You pay $14.99, $19.99 for it, but then you could also have the like quote unquote microtransactions for not for loot boxes, but more for like cosmetic items, for stuff like that. And the stuff you find within the game is what makes your character better, but you can purchase cosmetic items, kind of like what Diablo does with modification or whatever. I don't know what they call it, but like you can have the stats of one specific type of armor, but make it look like another piece of armor. So you could always look the best while you're using the stats that you want.
And Nintendo is good at showcasing like microtransaction stuff. Like if you want the set, it's it's cheaper if you get it for the set, but if you wanted just certain parts for it, the mix and match, it's $199. It's $299. But if you want the whole set, you get everything for $349, and then we'll add something bonus to it. You get a bonus energy tank, reserve tank if you need to do it. Like, they could go in and really add value to this and do it maybe 3 months before Metroid Prime 4 comes.
I would give it like, let's say Metroid Prime 4 is the holiday game for 2019. Let's just say that. We don't know for sure, but that's what a lot of fingers are pointing to, right? What if you release this in January, and then if you proceed, like, the more you proceed through, the more you unlock for Metroid Prime 4 in terms of like items, or maybe if you can unlock energy tanks or missiles, or I don't know, even maybe like a secret suit for Samus to wear or something like that. Like, you could unlock stuff for Metroid Prime 4, even if it's just small stuff.
Yeah, I think that would literally be cool. My funny thing would be, and this is kind of crazy, that if you actually want to have Metroids invade your game, that could be a microtransaction, or that could be a season pack. Like, you are not somehow,
or it could like the way Helldivers does it is like, I'm not the expert on Helldivers, obviously, but Matt and Moose, and just by picking up what they say, like, Helldivers, you have like this, you're fighting for a faction, and the factions kind of have their own territories, and like, percentages go up and down depending on how well you're doing against the enemy invasion or whatever, and you're trying to force the aliens back into their home territory or whatever. And then like the final thing is like, the mission of the war is like, you're going out and you're taking the fight to them. What if like the higher the percentage of you winning, the more Metroids invade the levels?
Yeah.
And it would make it harder as you progress through the game.
I can see Nintendo kind of doing that. Just be like, even though your Switch is in sleep mode, you just somehow seeing something taken over in the distance, and it's just a Metroid's flying, and then that's your mission to get rid of the Metroids, to get your stuff. Like, if they could put like a lockdown on your stuff, like the area where you put, let's say, your reserve items. Like how they be like, well, these are your items that you got. They're in.
It's kind of like a vault, like the vault in Destiny, where you can just store stuff that you aren't using.
Yeah, Nintendo sits on Metroids to take over it. Now you and your team gotta destroy it to get your stuff back.
Oh, jeez, no, I don't want any Dark Souls elements to this stuff.
I mean, it's crazy. But I was just like, just think of the Metroids being smart enough, some AI being smart enough to affect your game in that manner. Like, I mean, okay, let's so it don't do your fault, but an area that you once claimed, if it's not fully up to defend the stuff, the Metroids are able to come in and take over. So now you guys are going over. And if you don't do it, maybe your friends who are playing the game, it's up for grabs now. Like if you fail, now it's up to them to come and take over.
Yeah. I think that'd be such a cool thing to like get people in and like really like maybe not experience what Metroid is, but like get the brand out there and be like, look, we're trying really hard to make Metroid a thing, and this is how we're going to start it. And then Metroid Prime 4, your single player Metroid game is out there coming. We gave you the 2D Metroid. This is something to hold fans over. And then after Metroid Prime 4 comes out, that's when we're going to drop Federation Force 2, which will be like, for the first person shooter fans out there that like want competitive multiplayer, that want co-op bounty hunts, which is where the bounty hunts come in. But I actually think that might work better for the Helldivers style game, where like, okay, you got your squad of 4 bounty hunters, we're going on this bounty hunt, and it becomes almost light Monster Hunter element where you're going out to, you're going on this mission and you shoot things and maybe you acquire some equipment on the way through, get your loot or whatever, but then you acquire the materials you need from this monster that you're going to go kill with and collect a bounty on, and then your reward is like crystals, or maybe if you do like a, going by Halo terms, like a legendary version of the mission, you get the legendary armor set, and that's how you build your armor set that way.
Yeah, I think that should happen. I really think that should happen. And like I said, you said $14.99. I think $19.99 is a good price for people who want to play, because who wants to get more out of it. Like that free to start is just a taste. It's the tutorial taste.
I would almost say like $39.99 for like
of like almost a full complete package.
And then like just for like, it depends on how deep the game is, but like again, Nintendo doesn't like to devalue their franchises, and I don't think they would want to drop below $50, $40, $50 just because people would be like, oh, well, this is just a whatever. And, just based on how Nintendo doesn't like to devalue their franchises, I think that this would be...
But Nintendo has the $40 price point, even the $30 price point. Look at the Toad game. And people really brought that. They were just like, it's still a complete game for a package, and people love the puzzles. It's so well. People were just like, people need to buy this. So a $40 game like that for Metroid, people will be crazy. If it plays good and they build upon it, yeah, it may have some problems, but patches and them working on the game to get it up there, yeah, a $40 price point I could see. Like
I could see
the free to start is the tutorial.
I could see them like maybe like what games are doing now, where like you download a quote demo, and then if you decide to buy the game, your save progress carries over from that first or second mission, right?
Yes.
And then they could do like a $60 full package where you buy like the $40 game and the season pass in one package, or you could buy the $40 base game and then the season pass separately would be like $24.99, and that's how they would like incentivize you to buy the season pass early, would like with the $60 package, right? If you buy them separately, the season pass would be $24.99, or like if there's 3 or 4 expansions, you sell them for $9.99 a piece.
Right. So the base game would be $40. The season pass is $24.99. So it's like $65 in total.
Yeah.
In a sense, I could see that working.
Or you sell like the complete package edition, and it would be $59.99. You save $5 on the season pass.
Yeah, I could see that. But should we add it as a physical copy, or should we just keep it digital?
I think you could do a physical copy, but I think if Nintendo really wants to push online, they would really push the digital, maybe. But at the same time, Nintendo fans are hard pressed to buy physical copies of everything. So like maybe they would just make a physical copy, or maybe like a limited run physical copy for it. Because it would be one of those games kind of like Animal Crossing, where it would be on your system, because like the game is affected even when you're not playing it, kind of thing, like Animal Crossing in that way. So like even if you're not playing, your friends are still playing, the world is still playing, the stats on your like world screen or whatever are still changing if you're not playing. So like you would want to keep it in your system, and that would just be the way to do it, would just to download it. Right. To
download it. I think if they did a digital, I think like the reverse cover, like Bayonetta, I think that would be cool, and some extra perks, because you're buying like the $60.
Yeah, maybe like some stickers, or like a keychain, or like an in-game item.
Yeah, like maybe if you get the collector's edition,
or pick me. Or
go ahead, Corey.
What if you could have like a pet, and like the only way to get the Metroid pet would be to get the physical copy, like the first run physical copy.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Can I just add just one thing to that? Okay, if you got the pet, they're gonna have to give you something for your ship.
Yeah.
Like
I didn't even think about ships. What if you could, like, I know people don't want to hear this, but just hear me out. You can get all the content in the game, right? There's no like everything is obtainable through play, right?
Yes.
Quote unquote. I mean, I don't know why I just did that, because Nintendo's never been, one to get microtransactions or whatever. But you could have like you could buy like cosmetic ships for like $2 or $3.
Oh heck yeah!
And like one could look like Samus's ship. One could look like an R-Wing from Star Fox. One could look like, you could have different Nintendo franchises represented through these cosmetic looking ships. It would be like what Destiny kind of does, not in like the Destiny way, but like your ships are cosmetic items that are, if you complete certain tasks, you get that ship. Where like, if you beat the raid, you got the raid ship. If you beat something like one of the harder things, you got the ship from that,
Right.
And there would be little things like that here and there that would be like, oh man, that guy accomplished that feat because he has this ship or this emblem or this like patch. Like maybe you collect patches through the game.
Your amiibo could be stickers for your ship.
Yeah, and that would be like the Nintendo way to do it. Would be like, hey, you can scan your amiibo in to customize your ship. Like maybe when you bring up like the world map and see like, or like the galaxy map or whatever, to see what territories need help or whatever to pick your mission. Maybe like it'll show like the dashboard, like a car dashboard, but for your spaceship, and it'll have like little tchotchkes. Like maybe you have some.
Now, can I just say this? We just created a whole different Federation Force. Like,
this wouldn't be Federation Force. This is its own thing. This is
it's its own thing. But I was thinking just like, okay, we started off with Federation Force 2. We are just like on a whole complete game. And
don't get me wrong. I still want to talk about Federation Force 2. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, we could talk about that separately, but I'm just like, the way that we're going with this idea of a game, it's just like it's just not even part of Metroid Prime 4.
Oh,
it can help.
No, this is its own
separate game now.
Yeah, I mean, look, what if you bought this game digitally? And if you wanted Metroid Prime 4 digitally, if you bought this game and invested time and money into this game, you would get like a 10% discount off Metroid Prime 4 when it came out. To incentivize people to buy this. Because, like, technically, Nintendo's still making money in the long run by, like, selling this game and giving you a 5% discount. Like, they're still making that extra money off of this game that you would be losing off Metroid Prime 4.
If I say if you bought this game, Metroid Prime 4 should be $49.99.
Mm-hmm.
$10 off. I'm just like, for a digital version, because now not only are you spending like $80 like for like this whole set, your microtransactions kind of made up that $10,
mm-hmm.
and plus, that season pass makes up that difference. And if let's just say that if you are buying it digitally, it recognizes that you got this game and you got the season pass. Now Metroid Prime is $40 because you got the season pass. Like, they're still making bank. Mm-hmm. They're just like, well, we pretty much made like $100 just off that Metroid franchise, and we added plus, because I don't think something like this cannot be done on mobile. I feel like
it's got to be on Switch. It's got to be on Switch. It has to be on
Switch. I think 3DS could.
I mean,
help.
They could do a 3DS version, and maybe like they could talk to each other. So like once this Nintendo online service is really kind of like out there and working and stuff, and they can connect the 3DS to your Nintendo Network ID or whatever.
It could be almost like apps in a sense, the 3DS version.
Yeah, I mean, it could totally work that way. I don't know, like, who would want to play a twin stick shooter on a 3DS, but like maybe it's a new 3DS exclusive. I don't know. Like there's a way around it, but like it doesn't have to be super graphically intensive. Like it could, like you look at Diablo 3, like that game looks great and it's not super graphically intensive at all. It's made to run on 360s and like low end PCs. Like, you know, I mean, there's a way you could get the Metroid feel in there without it feeling like super graphically enhanced.
Right.
You know, because Nintendo, they're great at reusing assets and making low profile things. Like this game would totally just, if you could get like a 3DS and the Switch to talk to each other, like that would expand, the player base exponentially. Even like,
so let me ask: would you do $100 collection, Switch version, 3DS, season pass, extra items for your ship, extra cosmetics, soundtrack, art book? Like,
I think it would just be like a PlayStation crossplay thing where like if you buy one version, you automatically get the other version. But like it would have to cost a little bit more to do that, I think.
But I think that's why like $100 like is the like kind of the total. Like there's just extra stuff. I mean, because of the season pass being included.
Yeah, if you bought like $100 version of that game, like it would come with both versions of the game, but you also get a ton of extra stuff like extra energy tanks, extra extra resources to start out with. Maybe some in-game currency to buy ships and stuff. Like you would get a ton of extra stuff to play around with.
Right. And that's why I said like a book and a soundtrack, like they give you more like for a collector's version of it, but you're getting both games with that season pass. So it's kind of almost, let's say $40 still for the game.
And even if you don't give the cart for the 3DS version, like they could give you just a download code for it. Yeah. If they're thinking about making that edition cheaper, but you still save money, like, yeah.
I think that free to start for that free to start for Switch and 3DS, if they decide to do a 3DS version, I think if it plays right, that tutorial plays right, people will be like, okay, I'm liking this, I'm digging this, because now not only did you get the Metroid fan base, you got collectors who gonna want this game. GameStop probably gonna have like 10,000 pre-orders, and Amazon probably will crash. But I'm just like, if people who are into this style of game wants it and just be like, oh, that's cool, I'm like, dang, Nintendo is really give you a bang for your buck. I think it will work. I really will think it will work.
Yeah, I mean, I think this type of game would suit the Switch well. Like, I was trying to think of like maybe like, I don't think like a Destiny style game would work for like on a Nintendo platform just because it's so complicated. It's so hard to get into, but like people still want that type of experience on Switch, even though like maybe they don't want that exact thing. Like this could be an easy way to get that Destiny style experience in a more manageable fashion onto the Switch.
And I could see this being a 3-year game.
Yeah.
Like,
and instead of the tower in Destiny, you would have like base or your base, right. Or like if you're doing like instead of like a military thing, if you're going to do bounty hunters.
I'm thinking the base from Metal Gear 5, like how you built upon it.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that if you're doing multiplayer though, because like it's got to be a central hub for everybody. Like if you're having like if some of this game's gonna have to be server side.
So are you thinking just a personal base and you built from that?
No, I'm thinking more like the tower from Destiny, where like, okay, your vault is stored like on your system, and like, but the area you're in is gonna be like there's gonna be 16 or 24 players in this hub where you're at, but you can still access the stuff that you've unlocked, like,
so everybody's sharing that.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm thinking of Metal Gear Solid 5. It's because the base is big to fit enough people and they could bring stuff in.
But to really like personalize it though, maybe you have like, maybe there's like a section of the base where like the crew quarters or whatever, and you go into like your room, and that's where you can have like maybe you could like hang up, quote unquote posters, but there's screenshots from the game.
What if you could buy your own? What if you could buy extra space, like your own quarter?
That's where like the microtransaction stuff would get a little tricky, because like
a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, like you.
Like this is where like going back to Miitomo. This is where like something like this is where like something like Miitomo would really benefit from being integrated into the Switch. Where like, look, you're playing this awesome game. You're playing this awesome like twin stick Destiny style Metroid game, and you log in on your phone when you're away, and you could see like, oh, your friends progressed here, here, and here. Take a look at their screenshots, and you could like look at the screenshots they've taken, or man, there's just so many things that I don't want to get into the Miitomo thing right now, but they really like messed up with Miitomo. I feel like if they would have just given it another year and really integrated it into the Switch's platform instead of on your mobile phone, like it connected both places, like.
But I think Miitomo, that was like Nintendo's first try at mobile. So whether you like it or not, I'm just like, you kind of got to give them props. That I'm like, they just wanted to see how the mobile space worked.
Oh, I agree with you, and I think Nintendo's going to have another social network app similar to Miiverse, actually more similar to Miiverse than Miitomo coming up. Maybe like next year or something.
And like Miiverse would work so well with this online functionality infrastructure for Nintendo.
Yeah,
like I think so much could be built upon this. Like, it's crazy. And I know we probably gotta close out.
Nope. No, because I have more to say. I have a lot to say about this now that we've been talking about it. Like, okay, it started out as I want to talk about what they could do with Federation Force 2, but like, it's transformed into this, and now like I don't even know if I would go like twin stick shooter. Almost, maybe I would just go like top down shooter more than that, like, or like I would like it to look similar to Helldivers, and I think Helldivers is a twin stick shooter if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember, I haven't played it in a while, but like I would like it to have a similar vibe. Like I would like a Destiny style tower where like you can go meet people and like have maybe do something that Destiny doesn't do, and have a solid matchmaking service where if you want to go do a mission but you don't want to do it by yourself, people can jump in, and like you have your bounty hunts, which would be like, that would be the missions you do with your friends. You would have like special missions that would be like, you could almost have like a Destiny style mission system to it without it being overly complicated like Destiny, like strikes, nightfalls, raids. And then you could like, you don't even really need a competitive multiplayer aspect at that point. You're fighting for the faction. Maybe that's how you get into the competitive aspect, is like maybe you have different factions where like one team plays as the bounty hunters, one team plays as as the military, and like maybe the bounty hunters control territories that the military doesn't, and maybe the military tries to take over the bounty hunters' territories. Maybe that's where the competitive aspect comes in. But you're not actually like fighting each other, obviously. It's just you choose a faction and you roll with it, maybe. But even then, like, you can still do missions with your friends that are a part of the other faction, right? It's just their point total adds up to their faction instead of yours. And then you could have like clans. You could have clans.
Before you go, because I know you about to get. I know where you are about to go. Can they add maybe something like Splatfest?
Yeah.
Like for weekends, just be like,
I don't know if it would be like this versus this, the way that Splatfest do it, but maybe
Yeah.
there's like a world conflict, right? Maybe like one of the major bosses from Metroid is like they're trying to take over the solar system or the galaxy at this time, and you have to you have a like there's a limited amount of time for players to reach a certain point total, right? Like combined point total, and then like whichever faction gains the most points, like say like you both reach the point total, but then like the military faction reaches more points than the bounty hunter faction, the military faction gets a cool reward. Like everybody gets like a cool reward that says, hey, we won the faction rally this week.
But you have to partake in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to quote sign up in the mission wherever you get your missions from.
Yeah.
You know, you have to sign up for it. You have to partake in like maybe they make like a 4 or 5 mission series event out of it where you have to complete like 4 or 5 missions and then you fight like Ridley or something at the end.
Can I add another thing to this?
Me excited.
For the 3DS version, yeah, you could play the game, with Switch players. What if you could also be support? Like you're watching it, and you're adding. You're not a good player, but you are adding support. Like maybe you help design good weapons, or you are dropping energy. Like you're doing something where everybody else is like you got 2 support systems.
Yeah,
one
like
for offense and one for defense.
You have like you're talking about like what if like the Switch players are like the ground team? You have a 4-player ground team, and then you have like one person stay back on the quote clan ship or whatever, and it can be 3DS or Switch players. They can be interchangeable, but like they can send down like maybe they're crafting like med packs to send down for your team, or resource deposits, or if you're getting ready to fight a boss, maybe they're gathering resources off the planet for like a super weapon to like do massive amounts of damage to the mission boss or whatever.
Yeah, like crafting and alchemy and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Dude, that would be literally cool. Okay, go about your clan thing, because maybe we was heading into that one.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I know a lot of games like this, people like to have clans, and like the more clan members you have, the more prestige you get. And like the one thing I do think Destiny 2 does right with clans is like it doesn't matter if you're playing or not. Like if your clan does specific tasks within the game, like you still get rewarded if your clan anybody in your clan participates. And like I think that'd be cool if you have like 12 or 15 guys in your clan, and like you don't play for 2 weeks, but you come back and log in, you have a reward waiting for you because somebody did the faction rally the week before, right? And maybe it's not like a quote faction rally reward, but it's some sort of reward that says your clan participated in the faction rally.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then like as you progress, you can make like customizable like clan banners and stuff like that. Similar to what like Call of Duty and Destiny do now, and even Overwatch does it now, I think.
Should there be like a level up system?
Yeah,
or do you think that the more resources that you find or fights that you do, it makes your equipment and energy like improve without having like a RPG system to it?
I think it should be. I think it should have a leveling up system, and this is going to be a ride, but stick with me, because I know as soon as I say this, you're going to shake your head at first, but stick with me. I like the way Destiny 2 progresses, right? Mm-hmm. I think if you do the story, like maybe that's how you train yourself how to play the game. You do the story missions, right? But you take away the arbitrary, like Destiny makes you level up to 20 before your light level really matters, right?
Yes.
I hate that system. I hate it. That number means nothing. It just locks gear away, right?
Right.
I think as you progress through the story and you progress through missions, you're like Destiny's light level, I think works well, right? You get new armor. Like every time you play, you get better armor, and that your power level, your light level goes up, right? I like that system. I don't like how Destiny locks that content behind a quote level cap. That means nothing in the game. Right. So I think you could do that. I think there's a way to do that in a cool way that's not frustrating, because like I know when you play Destiny, like everything is RNG, right? I need the gauntlets for this. Well, you could play 20 hours and not get the gauntlets, right? There's a way to do it where like maybe you can like go through a checklist and say, okay, I have the helmet for this piece I'm looking for, and maybe specific missions, you get specific armor for doing specific missions instead of like all this crazy hundreds of pieces of armor. You don't need that. You need like, say there's like 10 planets, right? There's 10 sets of normal armor, there's 10 sets of legendary armor, and there's 10 pieces of planet specific armor, and then you go through and get like maybe there's exotic armor, right?
Let's take that. All right, that's fine. What if it now push you back into old school Metroid, where you now have to go do a level to find that?
That'd be great. That's what I would love, right? That I want the rewards to be specific to the level, right?
So not only now that you got that old school Metroid that is known for, you still got that Helldivers style of a game. So you kind of got a 2-in-1 in a sense.
Yeah. And if we're talking about armor, like what I was thinking, like this thought literally just popped in, and I know we were talking about cosmetic stuff earlier, so this probably should have been in that conversation, but like cosmetic stuff, the zero suits, like what if everybody had their own version of a zero suit you could customize or change the color, or like I don't like these boots, but these boots look cool on my zero suit, and then you could walk around the base in your zero suit or your armor, depending on like what you really feel like.
I think if you do the maze and you get all the pieces, that's your armor. Like doing special missions or side missions, stuff like that. But if you feel like you don't want to do the work, those the microtransactions that you could buy. If you want to do that, and I feel like I feel like a suit. If you don't want to do the work, and you just want to pay for it, and people want to be lazy and pay for it, I think $8 for that complete suit. If you want to do it, the option is there for you to go and search for it. You just got to put in the work.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to put in the work and you just want to get stuff, because people say that's how some people are, then you pay $8 for that suit.
Yeah. But it would still be a low level suit if you want the complete suit.
Exactly.
It would still be a low level suit. You'd still have to go do the work to get the higher level stuff, and like, to use another Destiny term, infuse stuff into it, or or like we were talking earlier about Diablo's transmodification. Like you can wear that suit but still use the stats from other things. So like you could get a suit and like maybe you're on a fire planet or something, and you're doing one of the fire missions on this planet. You get a suit that like is resistant to fire, so you won't have to like, every suit is going to have different stats on it, obviously.
And you still have to fight Metroid mini bosses and bosses. Like that would be. I think that would just add so much value to this game. And I know we kind of took it out of the rim of Nintendo, but just like you said, if Nintendo gave that company to do something like this, that's mad bank, dude. Like literally mad bank. And I think people still will look forward to Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think that was the main reason why people didn't like Federation Force, is because no new Metroid was on the horizon. No new single player Metroid was on the horizon.
Right.
No new, like, whether it was 2D or 3D or Prime, whatever, nothing was announced, and people have been begging for Metroid since Other M, and this is the Metroid game that Nintendo gave fans, and it's not what people wanted. I think if they had at least announced Samus Returns, or at least announced Metroid Prime 3 or 4 was coming, like, people would have maybe been like, okay, we know that game's coming, let's try this out, let's see what it's all about, stuff like that. Now, like, that Metroid Prime 4 is coming, and we've already got Samus Returns, and there's a rumor that another 2D Metroid is on the way to either 3DS or Switch. Like, there's enough Metroid coming that if some sort of multiplayer thing like this was to come out now, people would be like, okay, this is fun to hold me over until Metroid Prime 4 comes out.
Yeah, and like I said, like 3 years of this, I'm like, not only do you finally get Metroid Prime 4 and that multiplayer and be able to experience that, the Metroid series is not only making Nintendo money, it's making that company money, because there are going to be people who's going to pay for stuff. There's going to be people who's going to be looking for amiibos to use in the game. You know, I'm like, a $25 season pass, and then like the season pass covers one season. And because you bought that one season pass, if you want to do the full season pass, that's another $40. Let's just go right there. And then let's see, what, $24.99 for that season pass. Season 2 is like $9.99. Season 3 is $9.99.
I mean, it just depends. Like, season 2 and 3 could be $19.99, and you're still getting, like, let's say a season pass is 4 pieces of content, a piece of content every 3 months, right? This game comes out in January, you get a piece of content in April, July, September, and December, right? And then the next year they say, or maybe at that first January direct or something, they're like, hey, season 2 of Metroid blah 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 is coming for $19.99. You get 3 pieces of content this year, one in April, one in July, one in September, and then season 3 will roll around again in January. Like, it could just be a cycle until they're like, hey, maybe we should make a new game, or maybe this game's making us enough money and people are still playing it to the point where, like, okay, we can just add a season 4 or a game, quote, game of the year collection where all the seasons come with it, similar to what, you know, Destiny did with the Taken King, where, like, okay, if you waited this long to play it, like, you get expansion 1 and 2 for free. And then you get,
but you don't get the collector's edition.
Right,
now it's just
right,
like now it's like a $60 game,
right?
Cartridge or digital. Digital is that, it depends on everything is probably there. But if you do it physically, now you get the $60 with everything on it. But it's 3 years. But 3 years has already passed.
Yeah.
I
mean, you're still got to start from the beginning, and, like, maybe you'll get some resources to boost stuff because you haven't been playing, or maybe you get like a special whatever to catch up with your friends to like, you know, play the newest content or whatever. But, you know, you're still basically starting from the beginning. You just have 3 times the content, you know, to start with.
Yeah.
So,
because I'm just like, that's like 12. What 12? Because we're doing 3 months per. We're doing 3 months for every new content.
Yeah,
so
but it doesn't
like
need to be as big as like the main game. Like, maybe the whole season can be like 2/3 the size of the main game or whatever. It's not like it's not like Destiny drip feeding you like 4 missions and then a strike or whatever. Like, it's not that. Like, I want it to be like a substantial, like a new planet. Maybe you could just get 1 new planet with like 10 new missions and you know, like a heroic armor set or something that you need to go chase or something like that.
It would be cool to think it. I cannot think of the people who found Samus. Like, if you could, like, if they were part of the season pass, like you actually found the planet, and some of them were left over there, and now you have to help them get their civilization back.
Or maybe like season 1 story, Like maybe you complete the main campaign of the game and then you play the season pass. Maybe the season pass content, like as you progress through that story or those stories, leads into the story of Metroid Prime 4. And then like once you beat Metroid Prime 4, maybe season 2 like will fill in some story after or during Metroid Prime 4, right?
Yeah.
So
because you did say it like drop in January, what, like October for Metroid Prime 4? October,
November-ish.
Okay. Do we do the full season pass campaign before Metroid Prime 4, or just get 3 parts out and then drop the game?
I think you just do like season 1 will be like the story before Metroid Prime 4 that leads into Metroid Prime 4. Like base game plus season 1 will lead into Metroid Prime 4. Like in some capacity. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a cliffhanger and now you have to go buy Metroid Prime 4. But there's like ties to Metroid Prime 4.
Prime 4. Okay.
Yeah. So and maybe like missions you do in this game, like there's Easter eggs in Metroid Prime 4 that you're like, oh, I remember fighting that guy in this multiplayer game or whatever. Or, oh, that's that super weapon that we created to take down a boss in one of the raids or something. So.
Yeah, because I think it would be cool for, like, you got your players, but your support players are doing their fighting in the ship. So they're kind of like healing you, but also like helping you guys out so that you could get on the sun and everything. You guys could go from there.
Yeah. Now this is it. This is like the only game I want now.
And I know we don't have a name for it, like, and maybe that could be a contest.
Yeah,
who knows? But I literally would be down for that. I'm sorry if we took it a different way. Just that idea of like adding that Diablo style, and then but you saying like Helldivers, like it's still isometric, but it's more than just what Diablo 3 is.
It's more dynamic. It's more dynamic.
Yeah.
It's more, it's kind of more intuitive. I think like, I don't know if you would make it 4 players. I think 3. I think
4 players is good. I think 4 players would be straight.
Yeah, I almost think like 3 maybe, but 4 also works. Like a 3 or 4 man team to do missions, and then like I think the concept of like a raid would be super challenging in this type of perspective, because you're not really working with a vertical space. It's really got to be like a horizontal, like a one-dimensional type of thing where like you're solving puzzles, but maybe you break off into teams of 2, or maybe you split 2 1-on-1, and 2, like 2 guys have to go off on their own to solve specific puzzles, and then the 2 guys in the middle have to hold down this little section of the map where enemies are just kind of coming in. And there's so many ideas I have about like major raid style things in this. And then like I hate keeping to use Destiny terms, but it's the only game that I can really compare this to. Like strike style missions where like, okay, we're going out on this mission, and these are the missions you repeat to get resources for new gear, to level up, stuff like that. Maybe get strike specific weapons, or this is how you get like an exotic piece of gear or whatever. But it wouldn't be as randomized as Destiny would be. It would be like, I'm going to do this mission to get these resources to get this specific piece of gear.
Or like people the support team who's going out, maybe they could also do the Metroid levels, and those items that they're getting is bettering their lab or bettering their mechanics and stuff like that. Like
it would almost be like RTS, where like, hey, you guys are going to go do this mission to get stuff for your armor, but I'm going to sit here and upgrade our ship because this is where like our clan's base is. Maybe that's how you get around like the tower style thing for Destiny, is like, okay, you do have that, but like your clan can have like a ship where like 5 or 6 of you can get on the ship at once, and like one or two people are in charge of doing this specific mission to upgrade the ship, so you can get, when you turn in your resources, you get better rewards as you upgrade your ship.
Yeah.
It'd be like a RTS isn't the right word. It's more like a, like a base building sim, I guess, almost.
I mean, there's strategy to it, but you're actually playing it. You're not just like clicking or anything. And
the people on the ground team can determine, like, okay, I have this many resources. Can I give up any of these resources for my clan to better upgrade the ship? So in the long run, when we get more resources, we can get better gear quicker if we fortified.
Like literally trading. Like if you got your Switch and you meet with somebody else who got the items that you need, and you guys could trade for that, why not?
Yeah.
Give that, add that Pokemon style gameplay. If you like, they could go. Okay, I'm done. We gotta close this deal because this needs to happen, dude.
Yeah, like, I have a design doc that I wanted to talk about. Like, it's literally sitting here on my phone for Federation Force 2. Now I think I'm gonna write something on ngrradio.com, and by the time you hear this, it'll probably be up. But like for this game, and like really kind of break it down, and because like we talked about a lot of good stuff here, and I know this isn't happening, but I would love this to happen so much. Oh, man. I would literally just pay the $100 for this game. Like I would want it on, because dude, I would want this on Switch and I would want this on 3DS, because that way if I'm on the go and I don't have my Switch, but my 3DS could kind of do the same thing, and I could like go get my resources for my support team and then cut it on my Switch and connect it. And we're just talking about the online infrastructure. Mm-hmm. So, it's free right now, but once the online kicks in, more stuff can occur. Yeah. Yeah. Man.
And plus, if Metroid Prime 4 hasn't even happened yet, that online structure come in, then bam, now more stuff can start happening.
Yeah.
So I should say.
Yeah. Man, I could talk about this for like another hour, but we've pretty much just done another podcast this week already. So, what do you guys think of our idea? Do you like this idea? Do you prefer Destiny style Federation Force 2 idea? Let us know. Because that was the original pitch for this video, was like, how do we do Federation Force right? But now, like, all I want is this, and it would be perfect for handheld mode. Like that's what I'm thinking of. Like resource management would be perfect for handheld mode. Like grinding out resources when you're not playing with others would be perfect. It's just, man,
yeah,
man. Now this is all I want. Tell us what you think. This has been Nintendo Power Block expansion pack. Excuse me. You can find it every Monday right here on ngrradio.com or on youtube.com/ngrradio. Like, subscribe, and share. Ed, this was a fun discussion.
Yes.
Download the podcast, Nintendo Power Block, in our family of podcasts. So, yeah. See you next week, guys.
Bye, everybody.